Everyone that comes to this corner of Holland comes for the Windmills.
So did we, but we wanted to take our time, so we booked a few days in the nearest city, which we knew nothing about.
Join us this week from Dordrecht, a city we didn't expect to love.
We're Rick and Adam, the floating nomads.
Living aboard our narrowboat Serenissima and slow travelling the rest of the world.
Join us on board and abroad.
Hello.
Hello.
Are you in for a treat this week? Honestly, this place has surprised us, but we weren't really meant to be here.
Well, we were, but we were just using it as like a base to go and see
the Kinderdijk windmills.
Yeah, the very famous UNESCO-protected windmills.
Because spending all this time in the Netherlands, we couldn't not see them.
The idea was to visit the windmills from here and chill for a bit, because we've had quite a packed schedule. So we just looked at a map. We saw that there was a boat which takes you from here to the windmills, which is quite easy. And we were like, yeah, okay, we'll go and stay there. And there was Dordrecht.
And we arrived.
And then we arrived and we were like,
oh, this place isn't just some random place. This is absolutely beautiful.
So it turns out that the Airbnb we'd booked is in the oldest part of the oldest city in Holland.
And we're heading along to get to what I like to call the front. It's quite a major waterway here in Holland. Notice we're staying in quite a lovely quiet suburb, and we've been here for roughly a week, but you'll notice that at the end of this harbour there's some fairly massive ships going past. So what you can see behind us is one of the most important and busiest river junctions in Europe. 3 rivers meet here, the Oude Maas, the Noord and the
Beneden Merwede. I've probably pronounced that wrong, so apologies if you are Dutch and I've said that wrong.
So it's been really cool to be able to sit here and see so many different vessels go past. They're pretty low to get under all the bridges here in the Netherlands. What happens is seafaring vessels stop at the outer ports of Rotterdam. The cargo gets transferred onto one of these lower ships, and then this goes in the inland waterways here in the Netherlands. So they are huge, but they're not seafaring.
We've also seen river cruisers come down here as well, loads of them.
And you'll also notice going behind us what looks quite like a water bus. It is a water bus. This is really good for transport to get you into Rotterdam and other sites. Get back in the confines of the harbour, out of that wind.
The thing that I really love about this place is that it is an actual island, but it hasn't always been like that. So in 1421 there was a huge flood, which basically completely changed the landscape and left Dordrecht sticking out of the water, and that's been built on and built on and built on. And now it is this really cool, tiny city that is maroon sticking out of the water.
Now this city is so important for the whole of the Netherlands. It's got so much history.
But it is also absolutely stunning and not very busy.
We're going to go into the actual town later on after we've seen the windmills. But first, we'll just show you the old city gate. It's just an example of how beautiful it is around here. It was actually a mistake to actually come here.
Yeah.
Because it's easier for us to get to the windmills from Rotterdam, where we were.
It is now. I planned this, and until October last year there was a direct boat service from here to those very famous windmills, but it stopped in October last year, so now we have to do a little change.
Bad research.
Yes, bad research, but it's my fault, but it's fine. It means we get to do 2 boats instead of 1.
I think we're downsizing in boats as we get closer to the windmills, is that right?
Yes.
We're getting on a big water bus and then a tiny ferry.
Yes.
Should make for some fun anyway. Do you know which water bus you're getting?
Yes, it's the one towards Rotterdam, but we don't go all the way to Rotterdam.
Okay. It's a fairly big stop, right? And there's two halves, one going that way, one going that way.
Yeah,
So,
one going in, one going out.
are you confident this is the right stop?
Yes?
Okay. I'm guessing we're line 20.
We
to
are
Rotterdam.
the blue line, yeah. So if you look at this, we are Dordrecht there.
Yeah.
We are going to Dordrecht, which is there.
Yeah.
And from there, we get a little ferry to Kinderdijk, which is just there. So it's just across the water.
And we've just missed one. So 26 minutes to wait now. But that's okay, we can chill out here. And just a word about transport and how easy it is.
So
not
good.
just in Rotterdam, but we found in the whole of the Netherlands.
Everywhere, and basically every mode of transport uses the same technology. So all you do is just scan your contactless card when you get on a method of public transport.
Like your debit card.
Like your debit card. And then when you get off it again, and that works out the cheapest price for your ticket. It's like the Oyster card in London, but for the whole country.
Whether that's water bus, normal bus,
Trams, underground,
national
trains.
trains. Can you imagine in the UK just hopping on a train, say in Leeds, getting off in London, and it working out the cheapest solution for you? That just would not happen. You'd have to plan it weeks in advance to get a good price.
Feels like the future.
Well, it feels like it should have been the past quite a few years ago. A nice fake blue sky actually almost matches today's blue sky.
There is a real one outside.
Very comfy seats, very on-time service. We've come to expect this in our time in the Netherlands. What are we doing?
We're going on that one now. Hello.
Kinderdijk.
Yes. So this little ferry wasn't in the public transport system. It's €470 return.
After all we said about every single train.
I knew this one wasn't. It's fine.
And this little ferry is really well timed. It actually waits for the bigger boat that we've just been on to arrive and the one coming that way.
In both directions.
Yeah. And then it sets off on a short hop to get us to the windmills. Really nice journey.
It was very quick.
And not busy at all. And it gets us to the Kinderdijk Visitor Centre.
Where I fear it will be busy.
It's a UNESCO heritage site.
When you think about this country, this is the view you think of in your head. You think about the houses of Amsterdam and you think about these windmills. UNESCO-protected since the 1990s. They are incredible and there are 19 of them.
despite the crowds, it is a very peaceful place.
It's really beautiful. But these aren't just ornamental windmills. They're not really windmills at all, they are pumps. These were created about 1740 to basically drain the bit of land we're standing on and make it able to be farmed. So what we're standing on is an old peat bog, basically.
Like in Geethorn.
Yes, exactly that.
So they're obviously still in working order and in use, right?
Yes and no. So yes, they are kept in working order, but they are not being used right now. Right now, the job that these used to do is done by electric pumps.
We saw a massive one at the entrance, right?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
But these are kept in working order in case those electric pumps ever fail for any reason, because the pumps need to be running constantly or this land will flood. The last time they were used properly was in World War II, when the Germans took the diesel away and they had to be basically switched on again to keep this land dry, and they worked.
And you are able to still find all these nice bits of this place. This is a little nature trail. Not many of the tourists here are doing it, so we find ourselves pretty much by ourselves.
We can hear them though.
And we are coming to the end of our time here in the Netherlands, and this actually is a great way to kind of end it on this episode. Dordrecht in itself has been so chilled to live there, just for a week, but we feel just so at home there, and then to have this on our last Sunday afternoon, perfect. And as you've just seen on screen, thank you so much to the friends of the Nomads.
Thank you.
And of course the Nomads Club members, who are getting extra content, extra B-sides.
This week we are taking them behind the scenes on a trip to Rotterdam. More about that in next week's episode.
Yeah, and it's not part of Rotterdam episode ages ago. We do have to go back for a reason. And we also let them into plans when we back aboard the boat, because it's not going to be easy. And it's certainly not going to go to plan. If you want to join them, scan this QR code or click the join button below. We are doing boat tours around here as well, but we thought we've already been on 2 boats today. Rick the Twitcher.
Well, somebody's got to keep the Instagram up to date, haven't they?
Fair enough.
If you want to join us on there,
Yeah.
here's the details. One of the things that strikes you about the mills, the wind pumps, is how well kept they are. And I've just done a little bit of research, and most of them are still lived in.
Yes, these are people's homes.
People live, like 60 people live in Kinderdijk, and they get hundreds and hundreds of tourists every single day.
I was going to say, I do like an isolated place to stay, but this wouldn't be that because it's so touristy.
And something else I thought was interesting was there must be one person qualified with a miller's certificate to be able to operate the mill if necessary. So you're allowed to live in it if you have this qualification. I think that's really cool.
Press a button. So we'll go back on that tiny ferry on that bigger water bus, and we'll see you back in the beautiful Dordrecht.
Assume that's lucky because other people have done lots of it. Maybe that too. I'll do both. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there is a really severe lean on this tower.
More than Pisa.
Yeah, it's not more than Pisa. It's the same reason as Pisa. It's because of soft earth underneath it, but it leans about 6 feet, and it's really noticeable when you're here.
It's a huge building. It's called a minster.
A Minster?
It's called a minister.
No, it's called a Minster.
It's called a minster. So that's bigger than a normal church.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is huge for such a small town. And as we're looking up at the bell tower...
Yeah, one of the bells in there is the largest in the Netherlands, and the carillon, which plays every 15 minutes, is the largest in Europe. And it's about 3 minutes until we're going to hear it chime 4:30, so we'll see what that sounds like. Is it me, or is that a bit flat? Like, it's not like... It's a bit sinister sounding. You can definitely see the lever from here because the gates are straight, but that window is not. This window on the left, above my head, depicts the flood which made Dordrecht an island. It's called the St. Elizabeth flood.
Is it usual to have depictions that aren't Bible? It's good.
It's
I like
good.
it. And just over there is more modern interpretation of it as well. I like it a lot. Is it me, or it's not just the church tower that's leaning?
No, everything seems to be leaning inwards.
It's one thing we have noticed. The houses are so cute. They're really narrow, and the architecture is just really nice, isn't it?
Well, they look like they were very expensive houses when they were built. Because they were. Because this was a very important city at one stage.
Go on then, hit me with the facts. Why was it so important?
It's really interesting. It's because of Dordrecht's position between the three rivers. So in 1299, the Court of Holland granted a staple right, what was called a staple right, which meant that every ship passing Dordrecht had to stop and offer its goods, whether that be wine, barrels of beer, building materials, everything. They had to stop and offer those for sale in Dordrecht. And over the next 500-600 years, Dordrecht became very, very wealthy because of that. And these are all the merchants' houses.
So like they paid a duty for travelling past Dordrecht,
Basically, yeah. They had to be able to put their things for sale in Dordrecht. And that continued until the early 1800s, when it was just abolished overnight. And then Amsterdam and Rotterdam became wealthier cities.
Do you know why it was abolished?
Well, it was kind of already going before that. So when the big flood happened in the 1400s, obviously the landscape changed, so ships didn't automatically have to go past anymore. They could take other directions, and they were doing.
Right. So nowadays, each street is named after what sort of merchant used to live there back in those days, right?
Yeah.
So you've got a street full of wine merchants, so it's called Wine Street.
You've got one named after where the people that used to carry the barrels used to live. It's all still history that's still here.
And there are a lot of antique shops.
Like, it's been fully gentrified.
And gentrified is definitely the word for this place. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it's lovely. I really like it.
It really is. Especially in comparison to such a studenty city as last week in Utrecht.
Yeah, it feels very different.
It does.
I mean, look how gorgeous this street is. You can totally see why we're smitten, can't you?
It's been really quiet all the time we've been here. It's such a chilled out, peaceful place.
We did see it get busy once when there was 2 river cruisers moored up there by the gate we showed you earlier.
But they were gone by 4 or 5 p.m.
And then you get it all to yourself.
Yeah. Time for a beer. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's been a pretty good month, hasn't it, in the Netherlands?
It's been awesome. And Norway.
And Norway, on the cruise. You might not have thought we've eaten much over this last month. Well, you'd be wrong.
It's almost like you've dropped takeaway and then reassembled it on the plate. It's really nice.
Do we need to get a bit braver? Fair enough.
Dutch courage, if you will.
Cabbagey potato. It's all right. Bit bland. Sharing all these foods.
He doesn't share. That's the problem. You have to get in, otherwise it just disappears.